Good day, everyone. Welcome to BSC News Live. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please remember, if you'd like to interact with the stream, if you've got anything to say, that sort of thing, you're more than welcome to chat on YouTube, and I'll see it pop up straight on my screen. Leave a Twitter comment, and I'll get round to it, hopefully in the stream. And then the other platforms as well that we stream to, Twitch, Rumble, Trovo, they also pop up on the screen. So the thumbnail for this stream, I don't want to say it's not clickbait. So there's been a lot of bearish news sort of yesterday and today as well. Yeah, and I wanted to address that. So to be honest, I don't really think it's fully justified. It looks like that there's a bearish perhaps dip incoming, but again, no one knows. But we'll look at some data and look at sort of what different news outlets are saying and things, and then obviously you can come to your own conclusion. So first up, we'll just have a quick look at the sort of short-term BTC chart. I'm just going to move my screen around a little bit just to make sure we're getting the best possible view. That's a good one, but my face is blocked. Okay, that one's okay. Best of a bad bunch. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, so this is the 15-minute chart for Bitcoin. I use logarithmic view as well. I just find that a lot easier to work with because obviously with the lows of Bitcoin in the early days, it's sort of all on the screen still. I'm just going to delete this. So we can see obviously that there's been a dip. A lot of people perhaps sources attribute this to the recent Silvergate crash. And well, yeah, what's going on there? We're going to get into that in a bit more detail soon, and its knock-on effect to other businesses as well. So the dip that's happened a few days ago, as we can see there, not really recovered, but things are slowly going up. And if this is your first time watching as well, red on my charts, as you might be able to see, is up, green is down. But I think a lot of Asia do that as well. So if that's normal for you, great. If it's not, for half the world it is. So we'll switch to 15 minutes, and it's been fairly sideways. Oh, hold on. It's been fairly sideways since the dip, as you can see here. So we, dipped down to, well, hit pretty much perfectly 22,000, and then have just been pretty much going sideways since then. Our machine learning Lorentzian classification bot has been doing well. Obviously, it works best on the 4-hour time frame on Ethereum. However, yeah, we can see an 83% win rate. But yeah, sort of sideways movement at the moment. And we'll see what happens. There is some people are saying there's a slight sort of upwards triangle, which traditionally, if you draw triangles on charts and draw lines, that goes back to that old saying, draw triangles, get wrecked. It can be a bearish sign. So I saw one earlier that was sort of doing this. Hold on. Sort of doing that, and what can happen is boing, bang, 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 boom, and down again. But yeah, drawing triangles, it might have worked historically, but personally, I don't think there's much place for it, because everyone's doing it. Anyway, so one of the a significant bit of news today came out. I'm just going to share a tab from Twitter. Hold on. From Bybit. So this is, one of the many little things that are adding up to the whole sort of bearish news that's going on. So this is from Bybit's official Twitter. Notice on suspension of US dollar payments via bank transfer. You may continue to make US dollar deposits via the AddV Cash wallet or Advanced Cash wallet, or buy cryptocurrencies with your credit card on our one-click buy page. More details here. But from reading their announcement, it doesn't look that bad. Obviously, if you see an exchange say withdrawal suspended, it does ring alarm bells. But if we go into their announcement, which is here, we'll be able to read a little bit more into it. And well, from what they've said, personally, I don't think it looks anything that bad. So we have temporarily suspended US deposits via wire transfer, including SWIFT, due to service outages from our endpoint processing partner until further notice. Also, we have temporarily suspended US dollar deposits. So if you see on Twitter, a lot of people are saying the opposite. So make sure that you go to the source of what, of where the news is to actually get the true story. Because if you go on Twitter and type in Bybit, there'll be a lot of people saying different things, but go right to the source and you'll be able to, well, see actually what's happening. So we have temporarily suspended USD deposits. Withdrawals via wire transfer, including SWIFT, will also be suspended at March the 10th, 2023, 12 midnight UTC, due to the same endpoint processing partner. If you wish to make any withdrawals via these methods, please do so before March the 10th. You may continue to buy cryptocurrencies. So it looks as though it was something planned. But again, if you're on Twitter, you might see either news articles or people's posts and things making it look like they've just suddenly stopped withdrawals and crypto world might be coming to an end. But it looks like a planned maintenance thing, no problem. So that one for me, that's one of the sort of large, bearish flags that was happening yesterday and today. It's not a big deal, in my personal opinion. Obviously, this is not financial advice at all. But anyway, carrying on, looking a bit more detail. So this is the it's changed 2 seconds. I had up. Here we are. So this is the, hold on a sec, I'm just going to zoom out. So this is the balance on exchange for Bybit. So if people are worried, they have a lot of Bitcoin on their exchange. It's fine. And this is, if we actually just zoom, say, cut out all the, actually no, ooh, here we go, 2 seconds. There, so that is the current Bitcoin on their exchange, which is the orange line. The white line is Bitcoin price. So again, they've got plenty of reserves. So what other media are saying and what various people's posts on Twitter is fairly clickbaity, I think, or they just haven't read directly from the source and they're making a mistake. But from what we can see, the notice from Bybit, which is here, and also their on-chain balance, 2 seconds, there, things look fine, which is good. And some more on-chain data as well, which is quite interesting. Some of it's fairly self-explanatory, but so here is the Bitcoin realized profit. So people have made most of their money on Bitcoin historically. We can see sort of during the bull run of early 2021 here, and then here as well, sort of at its peak. Let's look at the date, 2 seconds, late 2021. So the majority of money in Bitcoin has been made sort of during 2021. Hi, Tim747, Boeing. So the majority of money in Bitcoin has been made. Will we see gains like this again? I don't know. We could do, but they are large gains in comparison to the price, the gains that people are making at the moment. Obviously, people did make money in 2018, or a lot of money in 2018 as well. People have made money since the start of Bitcoin, but this just shows where people perhaps have made the most money, which is quite interesting. And this is realized profit. So this is people taking profits, so buying it and then converting it or selling it for stable coins or cash, that sort of thing. And then on the inverse side, if we go to realized loss now, and again, it's fairly similar to the last chart. So people made most losses sort of 2018 and also during 2021 as well. Also, there's a lot of losses recently, and that's just because of the recent bull market. If we zoom in, we can see that people, again, this is really, it is I personally think it's self-explanatory. It just shows that most people perhaps are in long positions or betting positively on the market. So most people lose money when the market goes down and make money when the market goes up. We tend to have a positive or a bullish bias that's just from looking at on-chain data. But yeah, I was about to say who knows, but no, the data's there. People lose money when the market goes down and make money when it goes up. Okay, moving on. So obviously Silvergate happened and is happening. And Reuters reported Silvergate's deepening crisis jolts crypto stock. So Silvergate isn't the only sort of crypto bank and company that is listed on stock exchanges or the stock exchange that is involved in crypto. There are a number of others, so we'll have a look at them now. Firstly, though, we're just going to quickly look back at Silvergate. So this on, when was it? Friday. It was either, Thursday we looked at this. This is Silvergate. So, yeah. This is, this drop we drew on Thursday, and it showed a 56% drop. However, if we draw that to its all-time low, recent all-time low, it went down around 64%, give or take. And then it's starting to recover a little bit. However, if you draw triangles, your view on Fed rates and influence of crypto. I'll get to it in a moment, Tim. Thank you. So if you draw triangles, lines, that sort of thing, traditionally, as I said earlier, you might expect things to, go like that. But as I said earlier, everyone's drawing triangles, lines, that sort of thing. So, make up your own mind. However, holding Silvergate stock at the moment is, make up your own mind. Is it a good idea? I'm not a person to judge. Anyway, some other companies that are involved in crypto and listed on stock markets. One of the largest, or most well-known really, on social media particularly, is MicroStrategy. Hold on a moment. I'm just going to move that up a bit. So I've got these two other lines at the bottom, and these are the FTSE 100 and also the Dow Jones Index, just for reference. So obviously, if there was a complete positive correlation, it wouldn't. We couldn't really perhaps attribute that directly to crypto, unless crypto has a huge impact on the overall market, which it at the moment doesn't, unless there's an event like FTX. So MicroStrategy, to an extent, hasn't done that badly. It hasn't been affected that badly by the Silvergate crash. However, there are others that have. So, for example, this one is called eBang Holdings. So they are, do excuse me if I get this wrong, so I've only just recently researched them. They work in crypto mining, and we can see here that essentially Silvergate happened, here between close and open. And yeah, obviously they went down a lot. Let's just see how much buy actually as well. So bloody hell, that can't be right. That can't be right. That's nearly like 100. No, what? Hold on. So eBang Holdings. So I'll look into this in a bit more detail because between open and close, this has gone down 96.2%. That's a lot. And then in the other open and close, it went up 202,000. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm not really going to comment more on that because there might be other factors at play. But that's, interesting. So eBang Holdings, they operate crypto mining. So that's what a lot of sort of news media outlets are focusing on as well, with the bearish view at the moment. So firstly, is the Bybit news. Secondly, Silvergate, and thirdly, this one. Hold on, share this tab. This thing. So they're calling this a death cross. So a while ago, you might have heard about another death cross, depending on which chart time frame you're looking at. Typically, it's done on a 50 and 200 MA or moving average. So this is on the weekly view. Tim, yeah, I'll get to that in a moment. So actually, yeah, Tim, I'll put your comment on the screen. So for me, the fall of Silvergate is not dangerous, but Fed can scare crypto the whole of 2023. Yes, it could. Are you talking about interest rates, that sort of thing, or regulation? Because in terms of regulation, we've talked about that a few times. And we sort of came to the personal conclusion that perhaps, Coinbase is in a very, very good position for mass adoption in America, particularly with their base blockchain-based network, that sort of thing. But Silvergate, it hasn't fallen, but it could obviously very well do. Things aren't perhaps looking very good. So this is called by a lot of media outlets a death cross. So it's when the here the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average are crossing, and the 50 is crossing under the 200. Obviously, historically it's not really happened with Bitcoin in the recent years. This chart only goes back to 2018. Any sooner than that, obviously, we wouldn't really have much of a 200 MA or SMA, EMA. But there was this death cross, and then there's also something called a golden pocket, a golden cross. Yeah, so there's a couple of places saying this is a bad thing. I just think it's easy clickbait from other news outlets, to be honest. Don't worry. This is on the weekly chart. If we look at the daily, though, we can probably see some historical movements of a death cross. So there we are. There's a death cross right there, and it's also got the cross on it. So here's a death cross, and people say after a death cross we can expect a dip. So let's have a look. Let's change to logarithmic again, just so we have an easier view. Okay, so here is a death cross right here. And if we look at the price range, so if we say that's the price, and then, yes, it did go down, obviously, but then, it also went back up. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but these death crosses and stuff, I just think clickbait. They don't really make much. I mean, to an extent, they make a little bit of sense if you use indicators, that sort of thing, traditional indicators, but it's nothing too big to worry about, in my personal opinion. It sounds bad because obviously it's got the word death in, but at the end of the day, it's a crypto chart. No one's going to die because two lines are crossing over each other. So those are the sort of three main factors at the moment that are causing a bit of a bearish feeling. And if I break it down into what I personally think about it, so the first one, which is Bybit, they had scheduled maintenance, fine. The second one, Silvergate, we'll see what happens. I think it is Kraken that maybe use them as a payment provider. However, their service is running absolutely fine. There might be a knock-on effect from Silvergate, but we'll see. And then obviously this death cross. And typically, typically people say, sell here, but I'm not selling at all. My average buy is probably above where we are at the moment, and I'm just going to wait. You could sell now, but then obviously you risk it going down a little bit, and then it's shooting back up, and you're not having time to buy again. I don't really use EMAs, SMAs that much. I might use it on a very short time frame if I'm doing some scalping stuff. Well, I used to use. Oh wow, look at that! There's been a bit of a drop recently. I used to use it when I traded futures, but now that I just do spot and life is so much more relaxing? No, not at all. And yeah, in the last 15 minutes, we've had a drop from 22,500. Oh, actually, it's not that bad at all. So we can move on. We'll see. Will it go down more? Who knows? Anyway, enough of that bearishness and scariness. Hopefully, yeah, I've pointed out, the facts, and perhaps it's not something to be that scared of, afraid of. I personally am not worried at all. So these now, just moving on to some fun crypto websites that I sometimes use, well, seriously, because it's, well, yeah, you'll see what they do. So the first one, we have looked at these a few times on previous streams. So the first one is txstreet.com or taxationstreet.com. And this shows the fees of different blockchains, mainly Ethereum. That's what I use it for. And it shows it in sort of a bus format diagram. Yeah. And so people who pay the most gas get on the bus, well, the soonest. And people who pay the least gas go in the low fee line. And then they get on their, sorry. Yeah. And then they get on their bus. Well, when there's space, when they can. And I think it's a very fun illustration of fees and sort of how they work and things. And you can see the different protocols on the left-hand side filling up the transactions. And you can click on each person as well and see what their transaction is. During popular mint times on Ethereum, you'll be able to see that the Gwei price or the gas price for Ethereum will go up, and there'll be a lot of these little South Park characters around. People have spent, say, 2-3 plus Ethereum trying to mint incredibly hyped NFT drops. It hasn't happened as much recently, but sort of oh, who's that? Why is that? Oh, there was an ape there. That's strange. Hasn't happened recently, but it was, during bull runs and things, if there is a huge hyped drop, yeah, the sort of gas wars can become quite extreme. The next website is cryptobubbles.net. This shows you in a nice sort of graphic, easy to read, well, visual interface, if your crypto tokens, coins are positive, negative for that day. You can obviously change it to hour, week, month, year as well. So if we change it to hour, everyth's red, because obviously Bitcoin just had a bit of a dip. But then if we change it to week, well, a little bit red again, but never mind. And then, yeah, we can, if we keep on clicking them, we can see gains and losses. The bigger the bubble, the bigger the gain. And yeah, the smaller, that sort of thing. And also this one, market cap plus week. And this will show, the most change in market cap as well. Normally it is dominated obviously by the biggest market caps, because they don't really move around that much. So what we can expect to see here, obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, BNB, yes, USDC, that sort of thing, and get smaller and smaller and smaller. But it is good to visualize how big perhaps a token that you're interested in is in comparison to others in a nice sort of visual way. It reminds me a little bit of that snake.io game, but with crypto bubbles. Anyway, moving on. The next one, this one is fun. Okay, so this one is called, it's called Lambo Calculator. So, well, yeah. So crypto to Lambo amount. So let's say 1 Bitcoin. Choose your Lamborghini. Let's say Aventador. Calculate. So can you buy this Lambo? No, but maybe this one. How many more coins do you need to buy? That many Bitcoin. Needed price per coin to buy this car, 424,000. So it tells you, well, how much, if you enter how much Bitcoin you have there, choose a Lambo, it'll say what price Bitcoin needs to get to before you have a Lambo. So if we enter like a realistic amount for a retail user to have of Bitcoin, let's say, well, that 0.005. Actually, up it a bit. Okay, 0.005 Bitcoin. And let's choose an Urus. Calculate. So Bitcoin needs to reach 4 million for us to afford an Urus with 0.05 Bitcoin. And yeah, it is just a bit of fun. Nothing serious. There you go. And here's another fun one. So this is called If You Had Bought Crypto. If you're the type of person that regrets stuff easily, perhaps this isn't the website for you. But what you can do, you can say, well, if you have bought a certain crypto at a certain date and how much you bought of it, how much it would be worth now. So, for example, Bitcoin. Let's choose just 2014. Yeah, and we spent $1,000 and we bought it first of the year, 2014. Our $1,000 would now be worth $26,000, which is a great return, but it's not ridiculous. But then if we go right back to inception of Bitcoin, July the 17th, 2010, and we put $1,000 in, we'd have basically $500,000, which is a lot. And from that, we could have bought 50 million movie tickets. We'd have earned more than Bon Jovi did in 2016. We could own 1% of Ford stocks. We'd be richer than David Beckham. So again, it's just another fun website called ifyouhadboughtcrypto.com. And again, this website coming up is another little bit of fun, but we have used it seriously in the past as well. It's called Market Cap of. I like to use this website because if I think perhaps a token or a coin has potential and is comparable to another one, I'll be able to see what it would be worth at that other market cap. I'll show you what I mean. So, for example, there's a token called Banks, which so Banks help provide the Ledger CL debit card in conjunction with MasterCard as well. You could, to an extent, liken it to, say, hold on. I need to think of a token that perhaps is comparable. I'm just going to scroll down. Which one shall we choose? Whoops, SXP, there we are. Something else came up there. Okay, so BXX with a market cap of SXP will be an 124 times gain, which, in my personal opinion, could be realistic. Obviously, it depends on completely with what the market does, what the populace chooses to invest in, that sort of thing, what banks does themselves as well. However, that would be 124 times your original investment. The market cap of banks at the moment is very, very low as well, only 1.2 million. And if we aim big, obviously, saying Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's just completely unrealistic. But in my personal opinion, it could be slightly 1% realistic that it could even, get to XRP. I really, really, really doubt it. But, there's that lottery chance that it could do. And that will be a 14.7 thousand times increase. So, wow. Yeah, I think that's very, very interesting. Tim, again, thank you very much for your comment, my friend. From the world of action, you can cite the growth of Amazon or Tesla in 20 years. Yes, you can. Yeah, so if you're to invest in any of these huge companies as they were starting up, yeah. I mean, hindsight, we're all geniuses, and it would be great to have a time machine. But there's no point regretting not investing something, if you didn't lose. Obviously, if you lost, fine. It's a human thing to regret. But if you didn't invest in it, and if you've gained anything from it, be pleased. Always be pleased with if you win something. Well, not win, but if you take profit. Never regret ever taking profit if you're in the green. Never. You never know what's going to happen in the future. And again, everyone is a genius with hindsight. But that's it for today. Thank you very much. I know it was a little bit shorter, but cut it in half. But yeah, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today. We have got quite a few guests coming up this week as well, which is very, very exciting. So 2 seconds. I'm just going to get the list up. So tomorrow we have Sharky, which will be very, very interesting. They're an NFT project, and we'll have them on basically, hopefully for the whole hour. So from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. UTC, as always. And then we've got more later in the week as well, which we will, I'm pretty sure, we've already announced it on Twitter. But yeah, stick around for tomorrow if you want to hear what they are and you can't actually be bothered to go to our Twitter. Anyway, Sharky tomorrow. It's going to be great. And once again, personally, I'm not bearish in the market at the moment. Enjoy your life. See your family and friends. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. And I'm just going to stop sharing my screen.